We just want to thank Ladine and Jamie for really talking us through and walking us through what you're up to out there on Global Youth Day. You know, I was really inspired how they could locate they went out to the government building, the Parliament House, and they just prayed for them. You know, our leaders have some of the most difficult jobs on this earth, and we can say a lot of bad things about the politics that goes on, but we need to support them in prayer. We really need to have their backs, and it was heartwarming to see that they were out there doing something.
And it was nice as well that they weren't just, you know, from the church building, you know, we're praying, you know, but they actually went to the establishment and they were there. And I think there's something quite powerful about that. I thought that was a great idea, guys.
Yeah, prayer is power, especially in the presence. It was, and it was good to be there to make themselves known to the world that are watching, that they care about the system out there. It was nice to also see how they were active in volunteering as well. Remember that couple?
I think it was the pair. It was Nick and Caitlin.
Yes.
I thought that was really good because I think there's so many. You know, you have the missionary. Is it the Adventist missionary volunteer service? I'm never too sure of the official names, but there's so many opportunities out there, and I think that sometimes we can be scared and we can be nervous to, you know, put ourselves in an unfamiliar situation. But I really appreciated what they were saying, that, you know, it's good to step out in faith and really challenge ourselves as individuals, I guess, to let God lead us into unfamiliar territory.
You know, I think it was the girl that mentioned she was out there at a school. I think I was out at that school quite a few times in Denmark. I've been there with the young people. I know the context. It's really, really such an awesome environment to engage with the kids and join with them. And I was really happy for her that she had the opportunity to really delve into mission in that respect. Yeah.
And as well, the Clean Up Australia.
Ah, yeah, that was
really liked
really
that
cool.
one as well. Again, a great idea, and it just goes to show that it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be complex. It's just about, you know, being out there, being present, being seen.
Oh, do you remember? Jamie actually said, one of the hosts, he said that he's never actually got involved with Clean Up Australia. Well, we'd like to challenge you, okay?
Next year, by next year, Jamie, we want to see a picture of you out there doing Clean Up Australia.
Not just a picture, just to make us happy with smiles. We want to see you do it, okay? So we challenge you to do that, okay? Definitely, definitely. It really encapsulates the whole Jesus came to serve, not to be served.
Exactly.
And that was really cool. That was really cool.
So I guess there's a couple of things to remember.
So
Sam?
Please don't forget that we want you to log on to donate.globalyouthday.org and really support the Vanuatu project. Okay, contribute, make a donation. Also, we want you to please let us know on social media what you're up to for Global Youth Day.
And key.
Oh yes, the hashtag Global Youth Day.
And I guess we're about to head over to Melbourne now, the sporting capital.
All right, over to you.
Ayubowan, mage nama Josh.
Yasutu onamai mu NHS.
Goeiemorgen, goedemiddag. Mijn naam is Lana. Bonjour.
Hola.
G'day mate, and welcome to Melbourne.
Hi guys, and welcome to Victoria. We just want to say thank you to Sydney hosts, Ladine and Jameson, for doing an awesome job. And we also like to mention a massive thank you for everyone that has put this together and for our special hosts and guests today.
Absolutely. And today is all about having fun and having a great time. So guys, if you're on your smartphones, just get them out and download the Global Youth Day app. it is on Android and on Apple. And also, if you are out doing service projects and want to post something to social media, just remember to hashtag Global Youth Day or GYD15, or if you're in Australia, just hashtag GYD Down Under.
Alright guys, so first of all we have our Moe crew, so we're going to throw to the video and see what they've been doing today. By some of the Moa youth. So we have Reese, Nick and Jemima, and if you guys don't mind, we just have a few questions about the projects you've been doing today.
Yeah, so first question guys, Nick, so just tell us about what you've been doing today on Global Youth Day and just share with us your experiences.
Yeah, well, as the video showed, we went out to the streets of Melbourne giving out food hampers to the homeless. One of the experiences was probably we met this homeless guy who was actually reading the Bible as we got to him, so we gave him a food hamper and he was really grateful. He really thanked us a lot.
Well, that's really beautiful to hear that someone who is homeless is still reading the Bible and is really grateful for what you guys are doing. And Jemima, I have a question for you. This sounds like something that is really quite confronting. A lot of youth might struggle to put themselves out there the way you guys have. So how did you do this? How did you calm your nerves?
We were really blessed to have amazing leaders, and so we were trained beforehand, and that really helped. And we had a prayer as a group before we went out, and so that calmed our nerves. And then there was some younger people in the group that were quite nervous, but it helped because we went out in groups of at least 2 to give out the food hampers to the homeless people. And it was very challenging and confronting because I myself am not homeless, so it was very confronting because we couldn't exactly, didn't really know what it was like to be homeless, so it was very confronting.
Well, it's good to know here that, it's such a confronting experience, you guys still put yourself out there and stepped out of your comfort zones.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see young people, even though they might be nervous, still going out and, going to do some awesome stuff with their youth group, and that's just an awesome thing that Global Youth Day is. It's great. Now, Reese, I know that you haven't got those care packages just stored up all in your bedroom, so where'd you actually get these care packages from? Where'd you get the resources?
Well, yeah, last year we did a lot of fundraising ourselves, but this year we really wanted to get our church behind us, so we showed them our video from last year, and we had about an aim of $400,
yeah.
And it was really great to see, and we got a budget of $1,000 from our home church, which
awesome.
was really great to see.
Yeah.
So, this is an incredible idea and your church is really getting behind you. Who actually came up with this idea in the first place?
Well, we got together as a group of leaders and with our youth, and we just nutted out what we would like to do, and we were lucky enough to have someone with us who had already worked with the homeless, and he suggested what to give them, where to go. It was really good too. And then we chose that topic and we went with it. It was really great.
Yeah, awesome. And just in one sentence, just describe to us a highlight of your day, your time in service.
So it was really amazing to see how we worked together as a team, and that really paid off. As Jesus is the centre, everyone had their part to play.
Awesome.
Nick?
Yeah, just how helping out people and being the sermon can be just as effective as actually preaching the sermon.
I think being the hands and feet of God is what is going to bring people to the church rather than out there preaching, because seeing youth working really changes people's perspectives on the youth of today.
And I would say it's just amazing how much a smiley face and a bag of food can go.
Yeah.
It's really great. So, you guys, as a team, would you guys be planning on doing this again next year?
Yeah, definitely, but we have some little extra things to do, so it'll be great to see what happens next year.
Oh, what are these plans for next year?
Oh, we will see.
Oh, keeping it a surprise. Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to that next year, seeing what you guys are doing. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, thanks for coming, guys. It's really awesome to see such awesome work being done in our communities, especially in the cities, for the homeless, just like that. Yeah.
And we have another youth group that have been doing lots of work in their community, also out in our country of Ballarat. So we would like to introduce you guys, the team of Ballarat. Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks. So as our Ballarat team is coming up, looks like you guys have some interesting packages in your hands. Oh,
yeah.
Thanks, Greg. I'll
That's right. That's
wait
really
for later.
nice. Yeah, that's really good.
Just a random act of kindness.
Oh, that's really nice. Thanks for that,
Greg.
guys.
We've been doing it all day. It's habit now.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you look like you're in the Global Youth Day spirit. So, what have you guys been up to today?
So, as part of today, we decided that Jesus took joy everywhere he went, and people knew who he was. So, we wanted to get out in our community and share some joy and brighten people's day. So, we did so with a few activities.
Well, can we see those activities? I'm not sure if everyone else can see it, but did you want to hold it up? I think it looks really interesting. What is it? Do you want to explain it?
This is a compliment wheel, and every alternating, well, triangle, I guess you'd call it, says give or get. And what the people would do in their sets, they would flick it. And if it landed on give, they would have to give someone else a compliment. And if it landed on get, the other person would have to give them a compliment.
I think that's
Very
some
nice.
creative minds here.
Yeah.
Also, we had a little care package, in a sense. It's very small, and it's got little 3 Mentos in them. And we've also got a little message on the front about a Bible verse. God wants the best for us, and Jesus says, I've come so that they may have life and may have it abundantly. So John 10:10. And it's just a little QR reader as well, and goes straight to our Facebook page too. So we wanted people to kind of know what we're doing as well. Yeah.
And I understand you guys as a youth. So how did you guys even get people on board, or how many people helped you guys out in Ballarat today?
Yep, this year we had 13 people help out. We also had people helping out pack these little packagings, because we actually handed out about 350 of these down the street today.
Wow.
So it was
awesome.
a big task to do, but we had lots of helpers and helping with us too.
Well, no one's going to pass up with lollies.
Yeah.
are they?
3 Mentos. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And like, I understand that 13 people, you know, you can't all get the job done. You need a base, you need a church. So how did your local church support you in your efforts today?
Yeah, so we also had a bit of money from our local church as well to actually purchase these products. Also, in support-wise, last week we actually got the church to take part in this as a practice. So everyone in the church had to go at this as well. And next week also we're actually having a sermon, and we're presenting to our church what we actually got up to today. So they're the main things that they've helped us with so far.
Well, I'd really like to ask you guys, was there any experiences that really stuck out for you today? Just, quickly, because I'd really like to hear, your interactions with other people.
One for me was when Jaleesa, she's very good at going up to people and breaking a conversation, and she would take the little spinny wheel that we would have, and she would get people giving a compliment or receiving a compliment, and you could see that people had not received a compliment or given a compliment for years. And so it was, and some people were actually really deeply moved, and they came up off their seats and walked after us to thank us. So
wow,
that stuck with me.
Yeah. What stuck with me, there was this one group, there was this family, and they had 3 kids, and the kids did not get along very well at all. And the parents were like, all right, just give the wheel to them, and let's see what they come up with. And some of the stuff that they come up with, it was really, really, really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favourite one?
I think it was about 4, and the little boy said to his sister, "I'm really glad I have you as a sister."
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that's great.
I wish my brother said that to me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming and just sharing about what you did today and how you were being the sermon today. Thank you very much from your group at Ballarat, and we wish you that you continue your work in your community, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Yep. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And now we have a throw to Josh, who's going to tell us a little bit what's happening on our social media.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Yep, so thanks Lana and Jess, and it's just really awesome just to see the Moy community and the Ballarat community getting out and just being the sermon in the communities and in the city, and it's just really awesome to see. Right now we just take the time just to stop and look at what's going on the social media. So starting off on Facebook, we've got a picture with Jess and Michaela, the ADRA youth ambassadors, chilling with the United Nations youth ambassador for Australia, Shay Sparings. And it's just really awesome just to see them collaborating, just having a good time with each other and just really bonding. Moving over, we're moving over to New Zealand now. There's Ray Mawaga, and he's chilling with his New Zealand crew, and it's really awesome just to see them singing, getting involved in rest homes, and they're just giving back to their communities and having a really good time doing it as well, and it's really awesome. Also on Facebook, we've got the Ballarat crew once more, and we've got pictures of them getting their service projects ready, and it's just really awesome. You can see the smiles on their face, they're having a good time, they're having fun doing it. That's really awesome. Moving to Twitter, we got a picture of a family, and it's really good to see a picture of a family because it shows the effects of Global Youth Day. It shouldn't just affect the youth, it affects everyone. It affects families and children and everyone, and it's really awesome just to see that. And that's all the time we have for now. Back to the hosts for a video about the Asian Church of Storm Coast. So roll the clip, boys.
Much fun over there, and I don't know where you guys did it, but it looks like you've enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, awesome. And yeah, we've got a couple of people from the Stormco crew. They're here with us today. We thank you very much. We've got Joash, Chariot, and Haley. So thanks, guys, for coming in. So, guys, we saw in the video all these great stuff that's been happening, and we've seen the name Stormco come around. So, what is Stormco?
Well, Stormco is actually an acronym, and it stands for Service to Others Really Matters. And so it's basically just a group of people from a church that goes to a small community, and we give services, like a wide range of services to them. So, yeah.
So, how long have you been involved in Stormco, you and your church?
So Mazdak has been part of Stormco for 2 years. Myself, I've been part of that group for 2 years, and Josh has been there for 1.
Yeah, awesome. And have you guys been going anywhere in Victoria, or is it anywhere like that?
So last year, for the last 2 years, we've been going to Sale, which is about 2 hours drive from Melbourne southeast. And so basically we do it in their church there, and the Sale Community Church. And so that's our location for now.
Well, Lana and I would really like to know what type of activities you guys do over there.
Yeah.
So we've heard Stormco and you're servicing others. What do you guys actually do while you're there?
So in the morning we usually run a kids club, which we usually do games, arts and crafts, ballooning, all sorts of fun stuff. And in the afternoon we usually volunteer out in the community where we do like lawn mowing, removing graffiti and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you've mentioned lawn mowing and children's club. Now, how long does that actually last for? Is it over a weekend or is it over a couple of days? Or
Yeah, so basically it runs for a week and it's over 5 days, and every day we spend 3 hours doing kids club.
Yeah.
And the rest of the afternoon and evening doing community service or hanging out and spending time with each other.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How do you get the energy to do all of that? Sounds like you need a lot of sleep. You're going to need lots, and because you're having such an impact on a community. And what do you think the community thinks of you guys now as young people going out there and doing work? What are their reactions?
I believe our involvement as Stormco, I believe we've made the community more inclined to join the church and be part of Sail Church. And for ourselves, I think it's a great learning experience and something we can remember for the rest of our lives.
That's incredible. And so I'd like to talk to you, Hayley. What experiences have you had? So you're with Nunawading, so you guys go out and do Stormcos. What is your experiences, where you go over at Stormco?
Yeah, I mean, I think Stormco is pretty similar across the board, but obviously we go to a different community, so there's different needs. We go to a community where there's lots of dysfunctional families and a lot of elderly people. So I think about going into your community, it's addressing the needs that they have, not ones that you think they have, but the ones that they do have and addressing those. So we do similar things. We do kids club, we do community service, so we do lawn mowing, weeding, which is so much fun.
Yeah.
And also we go to the nursing home and we get to engage with the older people, and it's really exciting to have that intergenerational contact and get to meet older people and hear their stories and see that they were going through the same things that we were going through when we were younger. So it's about also just getting to know your peers, to get to know your friends, to get to know other people as well. It's a really it's really community based and it's really exciting.
Yeah. So Hayley, Josh says like most Stormcos go for a week or so. You must build up a lot of experiences while you're over there. Can you tell us one experience that you hold dear or you treasure or you've really loved?
Yeah. So I go back to Stormco for the people. So there's a boy called Zach, who all of us hold dear in our hearts in our Stormco group. He was a very troubled kid when we first met him. He was young, he was scared, he had a lot going on in his life. And as we've seen him grow in this time, he now wants to be involved in Stormco. He wants to be a leader. He wants to help the younger kids in our Stormco group, which is amazing.
Wow.
And this year we actually gave him, last year, we gave him his first Bible, which was a really exciting experience for us. And he came back the next day and he's like, I've read the Bible, I want to know more. And he was so excited, and already I've got a Facebook message and asking when we're coming down and how he can be involved, which just says volumes.
I do remember when I did Stormco, there was a young boy named Rial, and similar experience. I'm pretty sure Stormco had been running in Swan Hill for something like 10 years, maybe a little bit more, and he'd be going there to kids club since he was a kid. And same thing, I remember him coming to me one year and said, next year I'm going to be a leader. And I was like, they're going to be a leader? Like, that is, they don't just want to finish at kids club, they don't want to be a kid anymore, they want to lead it and continue with their friends and have the same impact on other people. Joash and Charity, have you guys had any similar experiences?
So I remember I had to dress up as a clown, and it was really funny because all the kids were like wanting to come up to you and play with you, and it was like a big puffy one, and it was really enjoyable to play with the kids.
I mean, getting to know other people of the community is really good. I know I've been on a Stormco myself, and just establishing a relationship with the community is really an awesome thing to do, and it's just great to have in life. Yeah.
So I would also like to ask, are you guys ready and planning already for your next one?
Yeah, so we had our planning meeting this morning actually, which was really exciting, seeing how many people want to be involved, and we've already got everyone in a slot for next year, so we're feeling pretty prepared at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, same for our Masdaq group. We're so keen for our next Storm Call. We already have a Facebook group. Our groups are all starting up and meetings coming soon, so it'll be good.
Well,
yeah, well, guys, thank you so much for coming here and just sharing your experiences about how you've, been proactive in your communities outside of Melbourne and just being a blessing to other people. So we thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
and guys, get involved in Stormco if you guys would like, with some other church groups.
Yeah, form your youth group and just go out into the community and just serve.
Okay. Well, next we have a musical item by a lady named Janine Orwell, and a little bit, it is a very deep and moving video, so if we'd like to, watch it and just see and just really look at the emotion, and it's just a really beautiful video to watch.
Can you see the little boy sleeping on the street? He supports his family, he works so they can eat. Can you see the little girl trapped in a life she did not choose? Tortured and used, shamed and abused. Oh, can you see the need? Can you see the need? Jesus saw the people that the world chose not to see. Jesus chose to love outrageously. Let us be like him. Let us help the least of these. Let us choose to see the need. Can you see the nation torn by war? Brother kills brother, what are we fighting for? Can you see the family fleeing for their lives? They've had to leave their home in order to survive. Oh, can you see the need? Can you see the need? Jesus saw the people that the world chose not to see. Jesus chose love outrageously. Let us be like him. Let us help the least of these. Let us choose to see. Let's be the voice that speaks for those who can't speak for themselves. Let's be the hands that preach into the dark to offer help. Be the feet that won't hesitate to go where Jesus leads. Let's be the hearts that love outrageously. 'Cause Jesus saw the people that the world chose not to see. Jesus chose to love outrageously. Let us be like him. Let us help the least of these. to see the need.
What an amazing, powerful song that was, and I think it's just an amazing way that they're using their voices and their gifts for God. It's time for our social media update part 2. So we're going to kick things off on Twitter, and we got a quote from Caleb Crispy, and I'm sorry if you're watching if I butchered your name, but it's a really cool quote. He says, "Being young doesn't make a different Christian, but being a Christian makes me a different young man." And I think that's a really powerful, and it's so true. Fezja.com asked, "What if Jesus came today?" To answer your question, we'd all go to heaven and Global Youth Day would have finished. So there's a quick answer to your question. Moving on to Facebook, we've got Andre Afamasanga, who's chilling in New Zealand as well, and he had a really cool Bible verse. He shared it on Facebook, and it says, "For I am not ashamed of the good news of Jesus Christ. It is the power of God at work, saving everyone who believes." And he just posted some pictures of his youth group having a Friday night Vespers, and it's really awesome that they're being the sermon, giving back to their community and just going out and just shining a light for Jesus. We've also got a picture of the Nunawading Christian College students, and they're preparing their pamper packs for the Usher House, a house for women in Melbourne, and it's part of ADRA. And we've got ADRA's school ambassador there, Ella Malaysia, in the middle with her black shirt, and we've got Beck there as well, the youth ambassador, and we've got Phil and Trent. They work for Vic Youth there. Vic Youth here in Australia, and it's just really awesome just to see them getting involved with their communities and giving back. And finally, we have a picture of Peter Paraglanis, and you probably won't see Peter Paraglanis today, but he's one of the few men in the backgrounds helping Global Youth Day come along. And I guess that wraps up my segment for today. Okay.
It's quite a ride.
Are you guys riding in it on stage?
Guys, what are you guys doing right here?
We've just, ridden 300 Ks along the Great Ocean Road. That's what we've been doing.
300 Ks, you guys must be pretty tired.
Well, we're wrecked.
You guys are a bit far from the Great Ocean Road. You're in a church right now.
Well, it was like a month or two ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys have a seat, relax, and make yourselves comfortable. Your legs must be a bit sore, that lactic acid build up.
Just give it a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Oh. We don't need a stretch, we've just been sitting down.
I don't know. Why are we stretching?
Went to the gym last night.
Yeah, go with that. Yeah, all right, so guys, Ulrich, what have you been doing here? And why are you wearing Lycra?
Well, I thought it was against Sabbath policy, but I thought I'd whip it out anyway. We just cycled 300 kilometres in 3 days, and that's creating awareness for children. So, yeah.
So, how long did this take you, and was it challenging for you guys to ride 300 Ks? This is a long ride.
Yeah, it's a very long ride.
It is, especially if up until that ride you hadn't cycled before, Alric. So,
wow.
Just a quick run through how biking works, cycling. You have these little clip-in shoes that you pop into your cleats in your bike. That's how you pedal.
Yeah.
Alric had never used those before, so like the night before the ride, Alric and I practicing how to clip in, and once you clipped in, you can't get out. So Alric is riding along, and he's like, "Oh, yep, this feels good." He's riding around. I said, "We'll just jam on the brakes and see how you go." And so he did, and then he couldn't get out of his cleats and almost fell over. That was almost a disaster before the ride had even begun. But yeah, we were riding and fundraising money for children in need. That's the whole premise of the ride.
Yeah. I was just about to ask, so like you guys rode 300 Ks. Some people just do it for kicks, but what was the real purpose of this ride?
Well, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of ADRA. I'm sure you have. We were raising money for ADRA, and they were creating awareness for children in Indonesia, however you pronounce it, and that's for children who are malnourished. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So could you get to choose what charity you rode for, or was it you could just ride for ADRA?
That's right. Yeah, you chose So everyone's riding for children in need somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
So there was other organisations like Compassion, got Botswana Orphan Project on here. And what you had to do was raise a minimum of $1,200 to go on the ride. So there was about 60 of us. that did this ride, and we raised almost $100,000.
Wow.
Yeah, for children around the world.
Brian, you're just answering our next question.
What's the next
Just
question?
stop.
I'll go it again.
Well, first of all, I also want to know, is that your helmet?
No, this isn't a helmet. This is dynamic cycling racing cap.
Yes.
You can't ride 300 kilometers without this thing. Otherwise, if you do this, you slow yourself down by like 3 k's an hour.
It's all about getting the best times. Yes, Brian.
Yeah, I didn't think it looked very protective. Sun protective, or if you fell off, it's a little...
No, we didn't actually ride in here. That was just all a stunt. So we didn't have our helmets on. Yeah, so it was all make-believe.
Yeah.
Where's the safety, guys?
So, yeah, just you guys are out there cycling and, cycling for a good cause. So what did you guys essentially learn about serving in a cycling sense?
We learned to serve those that we were with on the ride, because it was actually a pretty difficult ride, and everyone learnt to support each other. We formed bonds and everyone was really encouraging out on the road. We also learned a lot about ADRA itself and how money is utilised, how money that goes to a special project goes to that, but money that's donated to ADRA is able to be used for any project, like Vanuatu at the moment. So yeah, we learn a lot.
So are you going to be joining them next year, Alana? Are you going to enjoy your brother?
Well, as like my brother, I also am not a cyclist, so...
Don't worry, I can tell you how to stop on a bike.
I've got a year to train.
You'll be fine.
You might see me on the Great Ocean Road next year. But yes, thank you so much, guys, for coming and for sharing your experiences. It's great to see that service can be fun, and it can be done in many types of ways and stuff like that. So now we're just going to head off to the 25,000 spins video, and just to see what Ulrich and Brian got up to over there.
Thanks, guys.
With a lot of hard work.
Lots of pedals, lots of spins.
Motivation. So nice. Yeah. We're feeling great. Loving it, mate. Loving it. Thank you. Awesome.
So it's finally good to see what 25,000 spins is all about. And yeah, well done everyone who's been a part of that. And now we have with us Michaela and Ella, who are our ADRA ambassadors for 2015.
Yeah, so earlier Brian and Ulrich mentioned ADRA and all the things that they are doing. So what did you guys end up getting involved in for Global Youth Day? Michaela?
Well, we got involved in a community food program at Cornerstone, which is run by the Carrum Down Samoan Church, and ADRA's actually been in partnership with them for about 5 years now, and they go towards providing food for people who might struggle to be getting food at the moment.
So it sounds like an interesting project. What sort of reasons would people find to join this project, or even people out in the community to be a part of Cornerstone?
Well, sadly enough, like the studies show that the Australian Council for Social Studies, found that 14% of people are living below the poverty line, and 58,000 family homes had their gas and electricity bills cut off last year. So there's a clear need because whatever circumstances is, some families and individuals might not be able to provide food for their families or themselves, but luckily, something like Cornerstone is giving them an opportunity to have food and to have fellowship with others, and to support for them as well, which is really good.
Well, I think we need to remember that Australians also have struggles and live below that poverty line, and I think it's not well known enough that these are the problems that are happening in our own backyards.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, Michaela, for that. And now, Ella, so what have you been doing today, and what have you been doing previously that has been helping the community?
Yeah, so for the past 2 weeks, Nunawading Christian College have been collecting items for pamper packs for the Ash housing.
So you mentioned Nunawading, and what is your connection with Asher Housing, and how did you guys get your pamper packs together?
Yeah, so basically it was a small way for the students at NCC to make a difference in the lives of women and children who are going through a tough time. And unfortunately, 1 in 3 women are actually affected by family violence. And so that's where the Ash Housing comes in. And they provide a healthy and caring environment, and also growth through a variety of education, creative arts, and also mentoring.
So these are just 2 projects that are run by ADRA. I really want to know, what are you guys' aims and goals for this year as ADRA ambassadors, and what other groups or organisations would you like to be involved in with ADRA?
Okay, well, what I love about ADRA is about community development. So it's about empowering people. It's not just about doing things for others. It's about making sure that people have a chance to take initiative and to be able to make a difference in their own life. That's one of the things, I don't know, I just think it's an amazing thing, because I think it's another thing about service is about servicing others for the help of others, and so that they can then help themselves. Which is why I have a quote here from Stephen Booman, and it says, "Just because someone is vulnerable, it doesn't mean that they cannot rise above their sufferings to change their world." And that's extremely important to remember, which is what's great about ADRA, is that we really want to emphasise that all our programs we run are for the benefit and support of people, so that they can be empowered and live their lives in the most fulfilling way possible.
Yeah. I guess it's awesome to see, we see a lot of ADRA doing a lot of international aid work, but I mean, just as an example, you guys have been working in the grassroots level here in Melbourne and around here to make a difference, and it's just great to see.
Yeah, it's good to help in our own backyards as well. Yeah.
So Ella, is there any goals for you working with the school this year?
I guess it's just to get the students more involved in helping and serving the community, because that's what ADRA is about, and that's what we're trying to get the youth to do nowadays. Yeah.
Yeah, and is there any way any young people can get involved, not just today as in Global Youth Day, but for the future, if they want to they're inspired to do more things for ADRA in their local communities?
Yeah, sure. Like, as I said, we have things such as Cornerstone running, and such as, you're doing Asher housing packaging. We have a lot of programs in Victoria. So it's easy to get involved. It's, just a matter of even, looking up and seeing what there is. I think if you go searching for something, you find that there's so many ways that you can help, even from the littlest things to, running connection trips and everything. So, yeah.
Wow, it was really awesome to talk to you guys and, see that young people do have the power to work in the community, in their schools. So thank you, Ella and Michaela, for joining us today, so more people can know about ADRA and the impact that the organisation is having on Australia and around the world.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
And now we have with us a very special guest.
Very special, I'd say. He's a very, very, very special person that you introduced at the start. That is one of the reasons why we're actually here. He comes from the UN, and he's a representative for the youth here in Australia. And yeah.
And we brought him all the way down from hot Brisbane down to Colin, but I've heard that he's good. So if we'd like to introduce Shay Spearings. Is he here? Oh, there he is.
There is Shay. There
Hey,
he is.
Shay.
Hi, guys.
Shay, how's it going?
Good, good. Thanks for having me.
So, Shay, you're here in Melbourne from Brisbane. So, why have you made the long journey down here to the most awesome place?
Well, I was actually contacted by one of the members of ADRA and invited to come down here and speak last night and also attend some of the events that you guys were doing today and conducting today. So, yeah, I was invited and really grateful and really honoured to be here.
Well, I'd really like to know, and I'm sure other people would too, as being, a part of the UN, what are your passions and some of your areas of interest?
I mean, speaking specifically in the context of youth, which is what I'm all about, for me it really comes down to education, inspiration and empowerment. I think it's important that whatever we do, when it comes to working with our peers, especially on a day like today, we're always aware of the importance of educating the peers that we're working with and inspiring them to, I suppose, empower themselves, become the people that they want to be in their local communities.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, I said your title earlier, you're the United Nations Youth Representative, and so people must think you're doing service work all the time, and especially today, being Global Youth Day, did you find yourself doing anything today, especially? Because it's, time to serve our community?
Yeah, certainly. So I had the opportunity, actually alongside Michaela and a couple other ADRA members, to actually go to Cornerstone Contact Centre.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and see some of the amazing work they're doing down there, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But also I got to sit in on an English Conversations group and see some of the work they're doing there to help some of the local migrants in Dandenong actually effectively integrate into the community and empower them to actually integrate on their own steam. So that's really great work. Yeah.
And I was there with you guys this morning, and I also got to see myself the incredible power of sharing a meal with people and having a conversation with them. And, I want to know, Shay, so you're not a Seventh-day Adventist, and you probably hadn't even heard of Global Youth Day before Beck called you up and asked. So what are your views now on Global Youth Day or even the Seventh-day Adventist Church now that you've been here and you've experienced it?
Yeah, well, you're certainly right. So I didn't actually know about Global Youth Day until sort of coming down to participate yesterday. Yeah. So it's fantastic work. But for me, it's just really inspiring and to see such an institution, especially one that has such global reach, actually working to empower youth to engage with their communities. And I think that's a really amazing, powerful thing. And I think there's a lot of organisations and groups out there that could aspire to do the same.
Yeah. Awesome. And just another question, what inspired you to actually participate in service acts and, to represent us as a youth, in the UN?
Well, for me, it's really just about, I think when I was growing up, I may not have been aware of some of the opportunities that were available to me, especially when I was younger, especially in times, say, in high school and then immediately afterwards. And I think there was probably also a lack of opportunity for myself and those who I grew up with. And I just don't think we need to have that lack of opportunity. Yeah. I think that's needless. I think we can do away with that. I think we can work to empower young people so that, they're either both aware of the opportunities that are available to them and the opportunities are actually available to them, because people have some amazing dreams out there, and I just would be absolutely destroyed to think that we're losing some of those dreams, because I think it's important we never forget those.
Yeah. So what are you going to do, just briefly, as the UN representative, to make sure people's dreams are met?
I mean, for me, while conducting national consultations, which this is very much so a part of, and engaging with youth around the country, for me, it's really about bringing a message of understanding or encouraging you to go out and engage with local communities, doing things that can be as simple as actually going out and talking to local members of their community and coming to understand the issues that are in their communities. Mm-hmm. And then they can actually start looking at some of the bigger issues as well, of course. There's plenty of ways for us to engage internationally as well.
And we have 3 beautiful girls.
Yeah, three ladies just joined Shay here.
And one looks like she's got a sore ankle.
Yeah.
So we have with us Jess, Alana and Sarah, who is joining us. And You guys have been, somewhere this morning. Something
Yeah, you guys have been
interesting?
somewhere this morning. You guys got some T-shirts on. So could you tell us a bit more of what you guys were doing this morning?
Okay, so we actually went this afternoon for a couple of hours to the Melbourne Immigration Transit Accommodation in Broadmeadows. So it's about 45 minutes from here.
Yeah.
So it's people who, like asylum seekers, who are seeking refuge in Australia, and they're just waiting for their applications to be processed, so then they can seek asylum in Australia. So there were a group of about 10 of us. Yeah. And so we got to meet a couple of ladies from Sri Lanka, a couple of people our own age, like about 19, 20. And a few of us played with the little kids, and we made paper aeroplanes and had like paper aeroplane competitions to see who could fly them the farthest. So we were all in the visitors' room, and there were like paper airplanes just flying everywhere. Yeah, so
I bet yours was the best, Jess?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, Alana, I'd really like to know what impacted you, while you were there at the detention centre.
Well, it was a really eye-opening experience. I've never been to a detention centre before or transit accommodation where we went to today. And I think the first thing that impacted me was actually how hard it was to find the centre. It's really nestled away at the back of an army barracks in Broadmeadows. It's really kind of hidden and a bit secretive. You can't really see from the outside what's going on. But the most enjoyable thing I think was actually just meeting these people, talking to them, sharing a conversation, sharing some food with them, and making new friendships and relationships. I ended up chatting to a couple of guys that were just a couple of years younger than me, and they were both from Sri Lanka. They both loved the cricket. We talked about their hobbies and their interests and their hopes and their dreams and what they wanted to become when they finished school and that type of thing. And what struck me the most was just how similar they were to me and my friends. And yeah, they were no different to any of us. So yeah, that was the biggest impact, I think, for me.
That's great. Yeah, and we've got also Sarah here. So Sarah, you were on our broadcast last year, and could you just remind everyone what your role is? And also another question, just how is it when you come in and the residents are just, are they happy to see you, or, are they sad?
Definitely not sad.
Oh, that's good.
My role is actually helping organise youth and other volunteers and getting them to go make these visits. So I'm the manager of the Refugee and Migrant Project. So we also have a few other areas that we work in, but specifically visiting them, they are definitely not sad to see you. And what amazes me is if randoms just rocked up to your house and came in and started chatting to you and wanted to know about your life, I don't know how welcoming I would be of that, but they are. And I remember the first time I ever went in, they were chatting to us for a few minutes and they went outside and came back in with plates of curry and rice and chicken and all sorts of food for us to eat. Right. And and they told us as we started chatting that because they've been there for more than 5 years, they're given money each week, a group of them, to buy their own groceries. Now, this is only because they've been detained there for more than 5 years, and they were spending some of that money on food for us.
Oh, that's great.
And that really humbled us, that we thought we were coming here to visit them and share some Australian love with them, and then they were there using their food and money on us. I've also had a lady who, when we were leaving, she just said, "I'm just so happy today, I'm just so happy." And it's things like that. You don't really feel like you're doing a lot when you go visit. It's a few hours, but it really does impact them, and they're so happy.
I think a lot of people, they just need your time, not what you give. Talking to them, spending time with them is what they're going to remember. As I say, not the tube of toothpaste that you give them, because eventually that toothpaste is going to go, but that memory is not going to. So I want to speak to Sarah and Shay, and I was, mentoring is a massive thing that we can do here in Australia. So how did you guys get involved in mentoring refugees and people?
Well, one specific way that our project helps to get volunteers involved with mentoring is to help become volunteer driving mentors. So it's a different type of mentoring. Normally you think of talking to each other, but this is actually teaching them something practical.
I think it's really just important that people go out and engage with their community and act and lead the way, and that's a really effective way of mentoring.
Well, thank you so much, guys,
so
for in joining us here today, and really keep up that work, because I think the more time that we spend with them, the more lives that we can all impact together as a youth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And now we're going to throw over. Yeah. Whoa!
Oh, hey, Josh.
From Josh.
Guys, unfortunately, there's no montage now.
No montage.
No montage, but we're just going to have a quick social media update. So what's
Awesome.
going up on the social media? I didn't know this, but there's actually a verse of the day today, and it's James 1:22, which says, "Do not merely listen to the word, and so deceive yourselves. Do what it says." And I think that's a really powerful verse. We need to do what we says. We're aiming to be the sermon. Don't just listen to that. Do that. And we just got one more little thing coming up here. It's Karina Brers. She says, "The best speech you could deliver in your lifetime is prayer. No mistakes, no corrections, as long as it's sincere and heard." And I just encourage you guys just to remember that prayer is the most important thing we can do if we want to be the sermon and just get involved in our communities.
Amen.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Josh, for all your work that you've been doing.
Thank you guys for
keeping
being
us
an awesome host.
socially updated.
We've had quite a good run today, haven't we, guys? I
think so.
Mm.
Pretty good.
Well, I just wanted to remind everyone, make sure that you load all of your photos up on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter.
Yeah.
And remember that the hashtag is, hashtag GYD15, hashtag Global Youth Day. And if you want it Australia specific, hashtag GYD Down Under.
Yeah, guys, and just keep on hashtagging and keep on posting pics and everything like that. And we're going to cross over to our next segment, which is in Korea. So be sure to stay tuned for that. I know they've got some awesome stuff planned over there. So, yeah, it's great.
Well, I really want to know, you guys, did you guys do any service projects today? Or if not, what ones do you want to do?
I didn't do a service project per se, but I just went to Frankston Church and I kind of did a little sermon there, so that was quite...
Josh.
Oh, our little preacher.
Yeah, little preacher. Not necessarily being the sermon, but providing the sermon. Yeah, that's really
so
good.
Sometimes you've just got to say the sermon instead of be the sermon sometimes, so,
Well, what about you,
Yeah,
Lana?
well, Jess, I think what really stood out for me was the Stormco, because I'm involved with Stormco at my church, and, it's just a great time where people get to interact with friends and, create new friendships and strengthen existing ones. And I think just the blessing that you get from going out and serving your community and them getting to know you, and just, it's great to have that experience, I guess. And, every time Stormco comes up every year, I look forward to it. And I just can't wait to head over to our town, Mansfield, to, go do some gardening, pull out some weeds, but still sow some seeds.
Pull the weeds, but sow some seeds. I like that. Well, if you guys have the opportunity to continue to do work around it, with ADRA, on Stormco, with Cornerstone, with the refugees, I really encourage everyone to do something, because I always like to say, when you go out and work, you don't only bless, but you are blessed, because you will be amazed at other people touching your lives.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think a lot of the time we go into doing service projects of, we're going to do it for other people, but the blessings that we get is just far superior than that. Yeah.
Awesome.
I do remember just a quick little story of when we were in Cambodia, and there was this little girl, and I was just taught her how to play a game and was talking to her for 15 minutes. And when she went to say goodbye, she ran up and started crying because I had to leave. So really, that connection and that relationship with people is what people need.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, thank you so much for listening and tuning in, and we hope you guys have an awesome Global Youth Day, and it's been heaps of fun.
Stay tuned.
Thank you so much to Jessica and Larnell and the rest of the team in Melbourne. It was so exciting and interesting to see what you guys have been doing today. I think one of my favourites was providing food hampers for the homeless.
Yes.
I think that is just, I know it's something that is done in so many places, but for me it is just so important that we take care of those who literally they have nothing, and to provide them just with, you know, meal and water.
It's humbling. It's humbling to really serve people who are in need, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud that they would step out and do that. I really loved the compliment wheel that they created. I thought that was so creative. So the give and what was it? The give and the get.
The give and the get. For example, Sam, I really like your glasses. They look very nice. They suit your face.
Indeed. And for example, Keris, you're a fantastic hostess.
Oh, thank you very much, Sam.
But it was wonderful to see them actually implement that in the community. I really love the story that they had the children of a particular family who apparently were struggling with each other, whatever it was, and the kids gave the compliments to each other. One of the kids said, "Thank you for being such a wonderful sister," from a 4-year-old. I thought that was pretty impressive.
And I guess it just shows the importance of words. I think sometimes we can pass through life and we're so busy and we forget it's just the simple things, giving people time and attention and just actually focusing on the positive things. I think sometimes, you know, it was great.
You're right. I don't think we ascribe much value to words. I think we think it has to be always physical actions, and it was quite powerful to see that happening right in that city centre. That was pretty awesome. And added with the care packages as well. Do you remember? They spoke about it. Was it 350 care packages? Yeah, with the Bible verses and all kinds of neat stuff in. It was just a love offering to the community. I really, that was powerful.
And can you imagine how it must have felt to receive that? You know, it would. I think I would be quite overwhelmed. I mean, for example, I remember when I was studying, I found a chocolate bar under the desk.
Yes.
And I took it out, and there was a little note on it just saying, "Dear stranger, have an amazing day. Pass it on." Just...
Well, linked with the care packages, there was an individual that actually said they hadn't received a compliment or a kind word in years. So it was really cool. It was really cool.
Really making a difference. But, you know, guys, there are certain things that you must not forget today in Global Youth Day, 4 days. We're collecting donations, and social media keep us updated. We want to know what you're doing. And now over to watch a quick video.
Back in 2 ticks.